Let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this seriously. Just give me 30 seconds. I want you to focus. Just play along. If you died on Monday, what would they say at your funeral? What did your life amount to? I know, you're mad about Barack Obama. People come up to me, and I don't know if that's the only thing they know to talk to me about. I don't know if they think I enjoy talking. I don't know why they do this. But people come up to me and they, Michael Berry, yeah, I want to meet you. Okay, hi. I want to, but what are we going to do about Barack Obama? He's the worst ever. I go, really? You think that's what, where does this conversation go? We both outdo each other, how bad he is? I don't know about you, but I'm going to find a way to get through the next 4 years. And I'm going to fight my way through this and try to save this country from itself. We have seen the enemy, and it is us. And I am no longer willing to blame the left. I'm going to steamroll the left, and I'm going to ridicule people on our side of the aisle who claim to stand for this and that and refuse to ever stand up. That's my problem. That's where we have our issues. We're standing around and letting the left push us around. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. If you died on Monday, what would your kids say about you? What would your spouse say about you? What would your parents say about you? Today I was at the Houston Police Officers Union, a fallen officer, and to see how many officers were there and talking to the officer's widow. He was 35 years old when he died. And I think to myself, wow, if my life was cut short at 35 years old, and I know it's not going to happen to you, it's always going to happen to someone else. That's what everybody believes. But what would you have done? What would you have done for the people around you? What would you have done for your children and your parents? What would have been the last conversation you had? I know somebody who, it's actually a distant cousin. Her dad died after a very nasty conversation she had with him. He had a heart attack. You got to live with that for the rest of your life. Your parents get on your nerves. My parents get on my nerves. They have their ways. They're old. They're set in their ways. They get nervous about driving in the Houston traffic. That wears me out. They arrive at places 4 hours before events start, and they want us to be there that early, and I show up fashionably late to everything. I don't want to sit there before the cleaning crew has begun to get the event ready. They have their ways. They're set in them, but they're my parents, and I love them for that. And I hope, I don't expect to be your pastor, your life coach, your best friend, your spouse, or anything else, but maybe, just maybe, for some of you, that'll sink in. And you'll say, you know what, you're right, Michael. I'm going to be a better daddy. I'm going to be a better mother. I'm going to be a better spouse. One thing I can't stand, people do this all the time. They want to run down their spouse to me. You don't like your spouse? Get a divorce. It doesn't make you look cool. That's one of the things in our culture I do not respect. Referring to your wife as your old lady? Are you kidding me? She deserves better than that. And if she doesn't deserve better than that, dump her and get one you love. If you don't love the woman you're with, then go find one that you do. That's pitiful. People telling me how horrible their wife is or how horrible their husband is. That's shameful. Maybe you're the common denominator. They don't like their job. They don't like their spouse. They don't like their kids. They don't, at some point, do you ever notice you're the common denominator? Why don't you suck it up and make the most of it? Because you're here for a fleeting moment and then you're gone, and the whole time you were here you were complaining about it. Where is life better? Who has a better life that you'd like to switch with? Or are you just a constant, perpetual, consistent, persistent complainer? Suck it up, man. Your life starts right now. Buck up. Find something you enjoy and do it. You like to drink beer? Drink it. You like to smoke cigarettes or cigars? You like to go hunting with your buddies? Man, go do it. Your wife won't let you do it because she nags you? You need to sit her down and say, lady, one weekend a month, I'm going out with the boys. And we're going to go hunt, or we're going to play poker. We're going to smoke cigars. We're going to tell dirty jokes. We're going to blow stuff up. We're going to drink brown water. And if you can't tolerate that, I'm going to leave and find a woman that can. I'm going to be happy. Because if you are going to put me on a leash, I'm going to be unhappy, and it's going to be visited upon you. And for some reason, you think you're my jailer, not my wife, and that's not what I signed up for. I see these guys. I invite them to go places. They can't ever go anywhere because their wife won't let them. And I'm thinking to myself, how old are you again? How miserable are you? You can't stand your wife? Maybe that's why. Ladies, let your man be a man. He should have poker night once a week with the fellas. Oh, well, Michael, I got to keep him on a short leash. He'll go find some woman. If you're that worried that there's that much better than you out there on the market, then maybe you should be worried. And keeping him on a short leash ain't going to stop it. It'll just delay the amount of time it takes him to figure that out. Nothing's sexier than a woman so confident that she says, you want to go out with the boys? Go out with the boys. You want to go to the movies with me? I'm here. Want to go out to dinner? That is attractive. That is sexy. Ladies, you might ought to learn from that. Your husband does not want a mother. He doesn't want a jailer. He doesn't want a warden. He wants a wife. And that doesn't mean y'all are best friends, and it doesn't mean y'all hang out at Bed Bath & Beyond and compare thread counts, and it doesn't mean that you have to watch Friends episodes together. It means that you come together and you enjoy the time as you are meant to do, but you are different. He's a man and you're a woman. And if you want to make him into a woman so you have another best friend, then at some point you are not going to be sexually attracted to him because you have emasculated him. And I have watched it happen so many times I can't see straight. And he doesn't do anything for you and you don't do anything for him because y'all are best friends. Why don't you let your best friends be your best friends and let your man be your man? He was born a man. He will die a man. He was probably raised a man, and he'd like to be a man. And these men who are checking their manhood at the door, and these women who are taking away their man's manhood, they're cutting their man's manhood off, shame on you. We are born different. That's why we don't use the same restroom. That's why women aren't allowed to play football or serve on the front lines. We are different. Celebrate that. Enjoy it. Because I guarantee you, ladies, when you're not around, you know what your man and his buddies talk about? Women who are real women. Ain't nothing wrong with being sexy. And if you don't bother to make yourself attractive for your man because he's stuck with you, shame on you. What does it hurt you to dress up nice and show a little bit of the assets off? What does it hurt you to say something nice about him in public instead of cutting him down in front of everybody else? When your parents start telling you what he ought to be doing and what he shouldn't, they're not in your marriage, you are. That's my life advice. It's worth what you paid for it. If you died on Monday, do something this weekend that will be remembered and talked about. Go take your kid to ride go-karts. Go take them to shoot a gun or blow something up. Spend some time with them. It really doesn't matter what you do. Just spend some time with them. If you got a project around the house, get the kids involved and teach them how to do something. Teach them some life advice. Stop letting the school district tell your child what they ought to grow up and be. You do it for yourself. Hey, thanks for listening, folks. Send us an email over the weekend. I'll read it. See you back on Monday.
Thank you, folks. Michael Berry has left the building.